The unspoken language. Mastering the art of reading people through Stoic principles. Have you ever felt a profound connection with someone? A sense of understanding that transcends spoken words? A fleeting glance, a subtle shift in posture, a barely perceptible tremor in their voice. These are the whispers of the human experience, the unspoken language that reveals far more than carefully constructed sentences. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who championed wisdom through observation and self-mastery, believe that the greatest advantage in navigating the complexities of human interaction lies in our ability to perceive beyond the surface. This isn't about mind reading in the mystical sense, but rather cultivating a heightened awareness, a keen eye for the subtle cues that betray emotions, intentions, and hidden truths. Imagine possessing the capacity to sense someone's fears before they voice them, to recognize hesitation before a word is uttered, or to discern deception in the very way a person holds themselves. This is not about manipulation or control. It is about fostering genuine connection, making wiser decisions, building stronger relationships, and navigating the inevitable conflicts of life with greater clarity and understanding. This essay delves into 7 powerful techniques, rooted in the principles of Stoicism, to help you master the art of reading people, not through supernatural abilities, but through the science of body language, eye contact, verbal cues, intuition, microexpressions, and the establishment of genuine rapport. We will explore how sharpening our perception can unlock a deeper understanding of ourselves and others, allowing us to move through the world with greater empathy, wisdom, and purpose. Observing the eyes, windows to the soul and mirrors of the mind. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul, and the Stoics would concur, adding that they also serve as mirrors of the mind. A person's gaze, its steadiness or restlessness, its openness or guardedness, often reveals more than a torrent of carefully chosen words ever could. In a world where deception is commonplace and emotions are often masked behind carefully constructed facades, learning to decipher the silent language of the eyes offers a significant advantage, not for the purpose of exploitation, but for the deeper understanding of the individual before you. When engaging in conversation, pay close attention to the movement of the other person's eyes. Do they flicker to the side, dart nervously around the room, or remain unfocused? These are not simply random actions, but signals of underlying thought processes. Are they trying to recall a memory, perhaps fabricating a lie, or concealing an unspoken feeling deep within? The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, famously stated that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The eyes, in turn, reflect these thoughts, no matter how diligently a person may try to suppress them. An averted gaze, for example, is not always an indicator of dishonesty. It can also signify discomfort, hesitation, shyness, or even an attempt to disengage from an uncomfortable conversation. Stoicism teaches us the importance of avoiding impulsive reactions to such signs and instead encourages patient observation, seeking understanding rather than immediate judgment or condemnation. Conversely, steady and sustained eye contact often signals confidence, sincerity, and respect. A person who is unafraid to meet your gaze is typically someone who has little to hide, someone who is comfortable with transparency and openness. In Stoicism, truth and integrity are considered cardinal virtues, foundational to a life of meaning and purpose. Being able to recognize honesty in others through their eyes enables us to align ourselves with those who share these same core principles, building relationships based on trust and mutual respect. Beyond mere eye movement, the subtle expressions of the eyes themselves can also tell a deeper story. Lowered eyebrows and a downcast gaze may signal contemplation, introspection, or even inner turmoil and emotional distress. Widened eyes, on the other hand, often indicate curiosity, surprise, or even fear. A Stoic, trained in the art of observation and self-control, remains composed regardless of what these signals may reveal. The ultimate goal is not to be controlled by the emotions of others, but to remain centered and grounded, perceiving their emotional state without becoming entangled in it. Pupil dilation is another often overlooked, yet surprisingly powerful, indicator of a person's state of mind. When someone is genuinely interested, excited, or in agreement with what is being said, their pupils naturally expand, allowing more light to enter the eye and enhancing visual perception. In contrast, constricted pupils often suggest discomfort, anger, or unease, a physiological response to a perceived threat or negative stimulus. A Stoic, disciplined in the art of observation, does not react emotionally to these cues. Instead, they use them as valuable data points to navigate interactions with greater wisdom and understanding. Recognizing someone's discomfort, for example, allows us to adapt our approach, perhaps easing the conversation or changing the subject entirely, ensuring that our interactions remain grounded in reason rather than unchecked emotion. Even the whites of the eyes, the sclera, can offer valuable insight. Redness can indicate stress, fatigue, or even irritation, subtle details that help us to gauge a person's overall state of mind. Rather than pushing a conversation forward relentlessly when someone is clearly exhausted or overwhelmed, a Stoic would practice patience and empathy, adjusting their approach accordingly. True wisdom lies not in blindly pressing forward, but in understanding when to pause, to listen, and to adapt to the needs of the situation. Consider the experience of encountering a man who spoke with charm and politeness, his words flowing smoothly and convincingly. Yet his eyes betrayed him. While his words were carefully chosen and reassuring, his gaze darted nervously, never settling in one place for more than a fleeting moment. At first glance, this might have been mistaken for mere shyness or social anxiety. However, upon closer observation, it became clear that it was something more, something deeper, something that pointed to a hidden anxiety, a concealed burden he carried within. Later, it was revealed that he was indeed carrying a significant secret, one he feared would soon come to light and shatter the carefully constructed image he presented to the world. This moment reinforced a truth that I had long suspected. Words can often deceive, but the eyes often struggle to conceal the truth. The ability to read others, therefore, is not about asserting control or manipulating outcomes. It is, at its core, about gaining clarity and cultivating deeper connections with the world around us. When we become skilled at observing the unspoken, at noticing the subtle cues that others often miss, we gain a more profound understanding of human nature and our place within it. However, the eyes are merely the starting point. The human face, with its myriad muscles and intricate expressions, holds an even greater wealth of information, waiting to be unlocked by the attentive observer. Observing body language and facial expressions, the silent messengers. While a person's words may be carefully chosen and meticulously crafted, their body often tells the real story, revealing the emotions and intentions they may be consciously trying to conceal. Every gesture, every subtle shift in posture, every fleeting facial expression is a silent messenger, communicating volumes about their inner state. These unspoken signals reveal emotions that even the speaker themselves may struggle to fully express or even consciously recognize. The Stoics, with their emphasis on perception and objective observation, understood that attention to detail is the key to unlocking true wisdom. By observing without judgment, by simply noticing and acknowledging what is, we can uncover truths that words alone simply cannot convey. Facial expressions, in particular, are like an open book, freely available for anyone who takes the time to read them. A smile, for example, can be warm and inviting, radiating genuine joy and connection. But look more closely. Do the eyes reflect the same sentiment? Is there a hidden tension lurking beneath the surface? A genuine smile, one that arises from true happiness, reaches the eyes, causing them to crinkle and sparkle with sincerity. A forced smile, on the other hand, may leave the eyes cold and distant, revealing the underlying discomfort or even insincerity of the expression. Similarly, furrowed brows may signal deep thought, confusion, or even worry, a silent indication of mental or emotional strain. A slight downturn of the lips might suggest sadness or disappointment, even if the person insists they are feeling perfectly fine. The key is to observe these subtle cues without immediately jumping to conclusions, to gather as much information as possible before forming a judgment. Beyond the face, body language as a whole provides a rich tapestry of unspoken emotions. Crossed arms, for example, are often interpreted as a sign of defensiveness or resistance, a way of creating a physical barrier between oneself and others. However, context is crucial. Are they crossing their arms because they're cold, or are they doing it to protect themselves from a perceived threat? Leaning forward usually indicates interest and engagement, a desire to connect and learn more. Shifting away, on the other hand, might suggest discomfort, boredom, or a desire to disengage from the conversation. A person's overall posture, their balance, and even the way they position their hands are all reflections of their inner state, providing valuable clues about their emotions, intentions, and level of comfort. Imagine, for example, meeting a friend who insists that everything is perfectly fine. Their tone is neutral, their words are reassuring, and they maintain a composed demeanor. However, upon closer observation, you notice a subtle furrow in their forehead, a slight tension in their shoulders, and a nervous habit of tapping their fingers against the table. These small signals, often unnoticed by those who are not paying close attention, reveal an underlying anxiety, a hidden worry that they're trying to conceal. Instead of pressing them with direct questions, which might make them feel defensive or exposed, you choose to engage them in a lighthearted conversation, creating a safe and supportive space for them to open up at their own pace. Slowly, they begin to relax, gradually revealing the worries they have been trying so hard to conceal. Your awareness, your ability to see beyond their carefully chosen words, has made them feel understood and supported, fostering a deeper connection between you. It is important to remember that, as Stoic wisdom teaches us, context is everything. A nervous habit does not automatically indicate deception, just as a frown does not always mean distress. True understanding comes from patience, from observing patterns over time, rather than jumping to conclusions based on a single fleeting gesture. Reading body language is not about manipulating or controlling others. It is at its heart about fostering connection, cultivating a deeper awareness of the nuances of human behavior, and in turn, gaining a greater understanding of ourselves. Paying attention to verbal cues, the weight behind the words. The Stoics taught that wisdom resides not merely in what is said, but in how it is said. To truly understand someone, we must listen not just to the literal meaning of their words, but also to the weight, the emotion, and the intention behind them. Every hesitation, every subtle shift in tone, every carefully chosen phrase holds a wealth of information, revealing the speaker's true thoughts, feelings, and motivations. Those who master the art of attentive listening gain invaluable insight into what others truly think and feel, often before they are even consciously aware of it themselves. A person's voice is a powerful signal, capable of conveying a wide range of emotions and intentions. A slow, hesitant tone may suggest uncertainty, doubt, or even fear, an indication that they are struggling to articulate their thoughts or are uncomfortable with the topic at hand. A strong, steady voice, on the other hand, typically reflects confidence and conviction, a clear sign that they believe in what they are saying and are comfortable expressing their views. The words people choose are undoubtedly important, but the way they deliver those words often reveals their true state of mind, their underlying emotions, and their hidden intentions. A slight pause before answering a question, an unusual emphasis on certain words, a subtle change in the pace of their speech. These seemingly insignificant details can speak volumes about their true thoughts and feelings. The Stoic approach is not to rush to judgment, but to observe with patience and detachment, allowing the truth to emerge naturally. Consider how often people reveal their true thoughts and intentions through seemingly small, and insignificant verbal signals. Phrases like, "Let me be honest with you," or "to tell you the truth," may indicate that what follows is of particular importance, or conversely, that previous statements may not have been entirely truthful or complete. When someone says, "I agree with you," but the word "but" signals a shift in perspective, an indication that what comes next is likely to contradict or at least lessen the impact of their initial agreement. Recognizing these patterns allows us to anticipate the direction of a conversation, to prepare for potential conflicts or disagreements, and to respond with greater clarity and effectiveness. Even simple, everyday phrases can hold hidden meaning, revealing subtle nuances of communication. When someone says, "Pay close attention to this," they're signaling that what follows is critical, deserving of focused attention. A countdown, such as, "You have 5 minutes left," subtly prepares the listener for an upcoming change or transition, allowing them to mentally prepare for what is to come. These verbal cues shape our understanding of the world around us, yet they often go unnoticed by those who do not train themselves to listen deeply and attentively. The Stoics placed a high value on clear and rational communication, free from unnecessary emotion or deception. They understood that effective listening is not just about passively hearing words, but about actively discerning the thoughts, feelings, and intentions behind them. By sharpening our awareness of verbal cues, we develop patience, clarity, and a deeper understanding of others. This skill not only improves our communication in all areas of life, but also strengthens our ability to remain calm, measured, and wise in our responses, an invaluable trait in a world often filled with noise, distraction, and emotional reactivity. Using intuition and gut feelings beyond the realm of logic. There are moments in life when logic alone cannot fully explain what we feel, when a subtle unease arises in our gut, signaling that something is off despite the lack of any clear or concrete evidence. This is intuition at work, the quiet whisper of our inner wisdom guiding us through the complexities of human interaction. The Stoics understood that true wisdom is not solely based on reason, but also on a heightened awareness, the ability to perceive beyond what is immediately obvious to the rational mind. Intuition is not a mystical force or a supernatural ability. Rather, it is the mind's way of processing countless small details, subtle cues in body language, tone of voice, and overall context, all synthesized below the level of conscious awareness. Marcus Aurelius, in his writings, often emphasized the importance of knowing one's own mind, of understanding our own thoughts, feelings, and motivations. The same principle applies to understanding others. Have you ever met someone whose words were kind and reassuring, yet something about their demeanor felt insincere, a nagging feeling that something just wasn't quite right? Perhaps their posture was tense, their smile did not quite reach their eyes, or their voice carried a subtle hesitation that their words alone could not conceal. Your intuition picked up on these subtle contradictions, processing them subconsciously and alerting you to a potential mismatch between their words and their true intentions. The mistake that many people make is ignoring this inner signal, dismissing it as irrational or unfounded. However, intuition is in reality a finely tuned survival instinct, honed by experience and shaped by countless interactions throughout our lives. It is a valuable tool that can help us navigate the complexities of human relationships and avoid potential harm. Intuition is not a substitute for reason, but rather a complement to it. Stoic philosophy teaches us to strive for balance between emotion and logic, not to suppress our feelings, but to examine them with clarity and objectivity. When you have a gut feeling that something isn't right, don't simply ignore it. Instead, pause, observe, and ask yourself what is really happening here. Is there a discernible mismatch between someone's words and actions? Are they avoiding eye contact, shifting uncomfortably, or speaking in a way that contradicts their body language? By combining intuition with careful observation, we can refine our ability to read others accurately, gaining a deeper understanding of their true intentions and motivations. This is not about suspicion or paranoia, but about cultivating a deeper awareness of human nature, recognizing that people are complex and multifaceted beings with hidden depths and conflicting emotions. A skilled observer does not react impulsively to a feeling of unease, but instead gathers more information, looking for patterns and inconsistencies before making any definitive judgments. Imagine walking into a room and sensing a palpable tension in the air even before anyone speaks. Perhaps the conversation abruptly ceases as you enter, or the laughter sounds forced and unnatural. Your intuition alerts you that something is amiss, that there's an unspoken conflict or a hidden agenda at play. If you pay close attention, subtle cues, such as tightened jaws, averted glances, and stiff postures, will likely confirm your initial intuition. This ability to sense unspoken emotions is invaluable in both personal and professional settings. In personal relationships, it can help us to navigate sensitive situations with greater empathy and understanding. In professional settings, it can help us to identify potential conflicts, build stronger relationships, and negotiate more effectively. Remember, however, that intuition alone is not enough. It must be tested against reality, refined through patience and experience. But when used wisely and in conjunction with careful observation, it allows us to perceive truths hidden beneath the surface, helping us to navigate the world with both clarity and wisdom. Understanding microexpressions, the fleeting glimpse of truth, a fleeting twitch at the corner of the mouth, a brief furrow of the brow, a subtle tightening of the jaw. These tiny, almost imperceptible movements reveal far more about a person's true emotions than their carefully chosen words ever could. These are microexpressions, the unconscious signals that betray what someone is truly feeling, even when they are actively trying to hide it. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of human nature, understood that appearances can often be deceiving, but that the truth, however subtle, always finds a way to surface. To read people accurately, one must not only listen attentively to their words, but also observe the unspoken language of their bodies, paying particular attention to the fleeting expressions that reveal their true emotions. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength." The same principle applies to understanding others. We cannot control what they choose to reveal to us, but by sharpening our perception and cultivating a deeper awareness of human behavior, we can see beyond the surface and gain a more accurate understanding of their true thoughts, feelings, and intentions. A forced smile, for example, may skillfully conceal underlying frustration or disappointment, while a momentary clench of the jaw might signal suppressed anger or resentment, even before the person consciously realizes it themselves. These microexpressions are largely beyond conscious control, making them one of the most honest and reliable indicators of a person's true emotional state. However, reading these subtle signals requires patience, discipline, and a keen sense of awareness. The untrained eye often overlooks them, dismissing them as insignificant or meaningless. But those who cultivate focus and attentiveness, key virtues of Stoicism, can learn to recognize them with increasing clarity. It is crucial to avoid jumping to conclusions based on a single fleeting expression. Context is everything. A brief narrowing of the eyes, for example, might suggest skepticism or distrust, but it could just as easily be a simple reaction to bright light. A tight-lipped smile might signal discomfort or disapproval, but without considering the overall situation and the person's individual tendencies, it is easy to misinterpret the meaning. The Stoic approach is to observe without assumption, to perceive without immediate reaction, to allow the truth to emerge naturally through careful and considered observation. Training yourself to notice microexpressions is not only about understanding others. It is also about mastering your own emotions and cultivating self-awareness. When you can recognize frustration, doubt, or deception in another person's face, you gain the power to respond with wisdom and compassion, rather than impulsivity or reactivity. As Epictetus wisely stated, it is not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. By refining our ability to observe the subtle nuances of human behavior, we not only connect with others on a deeper level, but also strengthen our own sense of patience, awareness, and self-control, qualities that define both a great communicator and a true Stoic. Listening for incongruence, the discordant notes of human behavior. Reading minds is not about possessing supernatural abilities or mystical powers. It is, in essence, about recognizing the subtle and often unconscious contradictions between a person's words, their emotions, and their actions. Imagine a beautiful melody, harmonious and complete, until a single off-key note disrupts the flow, creating a jarring sense of dissonance. In life, these discordant notes are the inconsistencies we observe in people's behavior, the signals that reveal far more than their words alone ever could. Stoic philosophy teaches us to observe without immediate judgment, to recognize that these contradictions often stem from internal struggles, hidden fears, and unspoken pain. A person may confidently proclaim, "I am perfectly happy," but their slumped shoulders, averted gaze, and forced smile tell a different story, revealing an underlying sadness or discontent that their words are attempting to mask. Incongruence is not always a deliberate act of deception. More often than not, it is a reflection of inner conflict, a manifestation of the complex and often contradictory nature of human emotions. Inconsistencies can appear not only in body language, but also in speech patterns and verbal cues. A story that changes slightly each time it is told, a sudden shift in tone when discussing a particular topic, or an uncharacteristic hesitation when answering a seemingly simple question. These can all indicate discomfort, avoidance, or even a subconscious attempt to conceal the truth. A Stoic does not rush to accuse or confront, but instead seeks to understand the underlying causes of the incongruence. What is being left unsaid? What emotions linger just beneath the surface of their words? These are the questions we must ask, both of others and of ourselves, if we truly wish to understand the complexities of human behavior. Epictetus, in his discourses, reminds us that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. When we listen deeply, with patience and empathy, we uncover truths that are often hidden beneath the surface of superficial conversation. This is not about exposing lies or uncovering hidden agendas. It is, at its core, about cultivating empathy, recognizing that all human beings grapple with contradictions within themselves, that we are all flawed and imperfect beings striving to make sense of a complex and often confusing world. To truly understand others, we must first learn to listen, not just to the words they speak, but to the spaces between them, to the unspoken emotions that permeate their interactions, and to the subtle inconsistencies that reveal the hidden depths of their being. This requires a commitment to patience, a willingness to suspend judgment, and a genuine desire to connect with others on a deeper and more meaningful level. Developing rapport, building bridges of understanding. To truly understand another person's thoughts, feelings, and motivations, we must first build a bridge of trust and mutual respect, a foundation upon which genuine connection can flourish. The Stoics believed that real connection is not simply about exchanging words or sharing superficial pleasantries, but about understanding the deeper values that bind us together as human beings, the shared experiences that shape our perspectives, and the common aspirations that drive us forward. When there is rapport, when 2 minds resonate in harmony, it becomes significantly easier to perceive the subtle cues in behavior, the nuances in tone, and the fleeting expressions that reveal a person's true emotional state. This is not about manipulation or control, but about fostering genuine understanding and creating an environment where authentic communication can thrive. The first step in developing rapport is finding common ground, identifying shared interests, experiences, or perspectives that can create an initial sense of connection. People naturally open up to those they perceive as being similar to themselves, those with whom they share common values or mutual understanding of the world. A simple discovery, such as a mutual love for a particular sport, a shared professional goal, or a similar experience of overcoming adversity can transform an ordinary conversation into a meaningful exchange, fostering a sense of camaraderie and trust. This commonality fosters trust, making the other person feel more comfortable revealing their genuine thoughts and emotions, sharing their vulnerabilities, and opening themselves up to deeper connection. However, building rapport is not solely about speaking and sharing personal information. It is equally, if not more, about listening with intent, paying close attention not only to what the other person is saying, but also to how they are saying it. When you listen with genuine interest and empathy, you begin to notice the subtle details that others often miss. The slight hesitations in their speech, the changes in their tone of voice, the unspoken emotions that linger behind their words. A Stoic listens not just with their ears, but with their entire being, observing body language, noticing pauses, and interpreting subtle expressions in order to grasp what is left unsaid, to understand the full depth and complexity of the other person's experience. Body language also plays a crucial role in building rapport. Maintaining an open and inviting posture, making steady and comfortable eye contact, and adopting a relaxed and approachable demeanor all contribute to creating a welcoming atmosphere, signaling that you are genuinely interested in what the other person has to say. A small nod of the head, a genuine smile, or a subtle mirroring of their gestures can all signal engagement and attentiveness, making the other person feel heard, validated, and understood. Subtly reflecting their tone of voice, their gestures, or even their posture can create an unconscious sense of familiarity, strengthening the bond between you without the need for words. Above all, empathy is the most powerful tool in connecting with others and building strong and lasting rapport. The Stoics taught that true understanding of human nature requires stepping into another person's perspective, seeing the world through their eyes, and experiencing their emotions as if they were your own. This does not mean necessarily agreeing with their views or condoning their actions, but rather striving to understand their motivations, acknowledging their struggles, and recognizing their inherent worth as human beings. When you show true empathy, acknowledging not just what they say, but also what they struggle to express, you create a safe and supportive environment where trust can flourish, allowing for genuine and authentic communication to take place. Imagine sitting with a quiet family member at a holiday gathering. Rather than pressing them to speak or trying to force them to engage in conversation, you gently recall a shared memory, offering a subtle bridge into connection. Through patience, understanding, and genuine empathy, they begin to slowly open up, revealing emotions and experiences that they might not have shared otherwise. This is the power of rapport, not forcing understanding, but creating the space for it to naturally emerge, fostering a connection that transcends words and builds lasting relationships. When rapport is effectively established, reading another person's thoughts and feelings becomes almost effortless, not because you possess any supernatural gifts or mystical abilities, but because you have mastered the art of human connection, cultivating a genuine sense of empathy, understanding, and mutual respect. By paying attention to their words, observing their body language, and tuning into their emotional state, you can gain a deeper understanding of their true thoughts, feelings, and intentions, allowing you to communicate more effectively, build stronger relationships, and navigate the complexities of human interaction with greater wisdom and compassion. The journey toward deeper understanding is a lifelong pursuit, a continuous process of learning, growing, and refining our perceptions. By staying curious, remaining aware, and embracing the wisdom of the Stoics, we can unlock the secrets of human connection and navigate the world with greater clarity, compassion, and purpose.